what we meant instead of just shouting out a number or like play this hit and roll kind of thing. We had to show everything. So that added another level, I guess, to our game. After that, we've been a little better when the crowd is loud or when you can't hear as
Trevor
well.
Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Ryland Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance.
And battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
Final stone. Does he have it? Yes, he does! What a shot! John Schuster! Oh my goodness! A third of a rock for... That would make sense when I did curl.
We gotta not kill that. It's gotta just be in the catch zone.
I mean, my gut is like hack to board and just roll 3 feet. 2 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's probably just hack.
You're always touching the 6.
I don't know that this leaves the 4 foot with hack.
Really good spots for me.
God, I gotta just put that right into my carotid.
Yeah, if it's dead nose and just, it's gonna go spinning. This actually might catch too and just leak back.
I think it does.
Okay, so it might, yep. Close to dead.
Hammer something.
Extra focus of the players, because sometimes you just couldn't hear yourself thinking, and we needed to like use signs and show what we meant instead of just shouting out a number or like play this hit and roll kind of thing. We had to show everything, so that added another level, I guess, to our game. After that, we've been a little better when the crowd is loud or when you can't hear as
Trevor
well.
Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Ryland Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
and when the pressure's on,
every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions. Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
and when the pressure's on,
every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
Final stone. Does he have it? Yes, he does! What a shot! John Schuster! Oh my goodness! A third of a rock for... That would make sense why he did curl.
Well, we got to not kill that. It's got to just be in the catch zone.
I mean, my gut is like hack to board and just roll 3 feet. 2 feet.
Yeah? Yeah, I think it's probably just hack.
You're always touching the 6.
I don't know that this leaves the 4 foot with hack.
Really good spots for Miller.
I think John's in a situation where he needs to send one of the right guards back.
Yeah, if it's dead nose and just, it's going to go spinning. This actually might catch two and just leak back.
I think it does.
Okay, so it might, yep. Close to dead.
Hammer something. Extra focus of the players, because sometimes you just couldn't hear yourself thinking, and we needed to like use signs and show what we meant instead of just shouting out a number or like play this hit and roll kind of thing. We had to show everything, so that added another level, I guess, to our game. After that, we've been a little better when the crowd is loud or when you can't hear as
Trevor
well.
Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
and when the pressure's on,
every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions. and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Last drop,
Yep.
8th in. From the tie to Isabel Verano.
We are live from the Mattamy Athletic Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada for the AMJ Players Championship, last leg of the Grand Slam Curling Tour for the season. I am Tyler George, joined here by Cameron Bryce. Cameron, great matchup we have in front of us today with Team Whyte taking on Team Schwaller. Team Whyte, one you're very familiar with. I've played against them many times in your home country.
Yep. Played against them and played with them, so
yeah.
Junior level, I played with 3 of those guys, so yeah, really good up-and-coming team, and they've proven themselves this year on the Slam Tour.
Yeah, winning the last Slam and big win in their last draw against Team Mowat. Really a dominant performance, too. Had control the entire game. For Team Schwaller, a little bit of a different vibe for them coming off of the World Championships, and we see the lineups now for the game for Team Whyte. At lead, Ewan Kyle. Second, Duncan McFadgen. Third, Robin Bryden. And skip, Ross Whyte. And for Team Schwaller at lead, Pablo Lechat-Couchepin. Second, Sven Mikkel. Third, Benoit Schwartz-Van Berkel. And the skip and throwing third stones, Yannick Schwaller. The number 3 ranked team in the world, Team Schwaller, coming off the silver medal at the World Championships. And we talked, Cameron, a lot this week about the momentum coming into this event off of the World Championships, being the top event for the season that everybody's preparing for, and then a little bit of a come down afterwards for Team Schwaller, just trying to find that energy again after such an emotional week for them.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to run off the adrenaline of last week. Obviously they had a a really strong week coming home with a silver medal, so I think they're just trying to hang in there and hopefully the results keep going for them.
Center guard up for Whyte. Start things off from you and Kyle. Here is Pablo Lachak-Couchepin. Talked so much, Cameron, about Pablo sweeping. One of the best on the planet. Has really improved his shooting as well. Great all-around player. Guy that you want to go to war with.
Yeah, he is definitely one of the best sweepers on tour, and he's pretty frightening on the brush. He can basically, it's like a remote control with that thing.
That one wraps around to the back of the button. Kyle playing the lefty in turn.
Back four, back eight. Close. Back eight. Close.
Actually, a lot of good sweepers on this sheet right now.
Some big brushes. You can make a lot of shots with these guys sweeping for you. Have seen the wall side, as is normal. A little bit straighter, coming off of the fans. That one a little deep. Taps it rock to the back of the 8-foot. How's your Swiss German, Cameron?
Not very good.
It's non-existent.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Same. Okay.
I know some words, but
A couple words. That's better than me.
A couple of words that probably shouldn't be repeated.
Yeah. Lengi we got. That's line.
Right.
We know that one.
Straight's the same.
Yeah, straight's good. A little roll away. Nice touch.
Yep, good start from Pablo.
11-5. 11-5, first one.
Duncan McFadgen, his first
11.
of this first end of play. Outturn,
Easy.
hit and roll. Trying to bring the action back towards the center line.
Yep. Oh. Yep.
Team Schwaller with hammer in this first end. Rolls to the back of the 4-foot, just over rolls a bit.
Yep. It's grouped those stones a bit closer together though, so it's definitely a bit better than what it was. Everything back tee as well, which is helpful.
Second, Sven Mikkel. Soft weight in turn hit. Cameron, we've mentioned many times on tour this season for Team Schwaller. It's always hit or miss when these all-star teams are put together. 3 players that have skipped in a world championship, all playing on the same team, but they've done a great job of adjusting to their roles and doing what's necessary for winning teams. You don't always see the top players come together and be willing to, if you want to call it, take a step back, play a different position, second, third, but obviously the results speak for themselves with this team. The world silver medalist, ranked number 3 in the world, so really a credit to them for making that adjustment.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those, they're just kind of looking at the bigger picture for themselves, and as well, like there's a lot of good curlers in Switzerland right now, but if they almost need to team up to get these results, and they're performing on the world stage now as well, which is good to see.
12.
Actually seeing it more and more often with the back end teams, or players from back ends joining in, trying to make these super teams, as said.
Yep. Oh. No.
Doesn't quite tap the rock through the rings, but good touch from Big Dunk.
A little scary now though without hammer.
Yellow starting to build up a little bit, and a hit to sit 3 now, again all behind the tee line, but not a bad position for Schwaller. First end, putting pressure on your opponent with multiple counters.
Clean. Ja, 12. Es lenkt. No, sich knallt. Clean. 11. Clean. Clean.
12, 10. Go. Whoa, 10. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Good touch from Sven once again. A lot of great options for where to roll to either now for Whyte, but maybe a soft weight double where they could roll in front of the last yellow counter. Room looks to be somewhere around control weight for Robin Bryden, his first.
Yeah, I think they're just looking for the soft weight double and try and grip those stones over there. You're going to have to make a couple of doubles to get out of this end. So.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Straight. Whoa, clean. Yep. Hard. Whoa. Yes. Yep.
Oh, really well done from Rob.
A perfect shot.
So tough to remove both stones with that weight, but perfectly done by Robin. Big shot in this first end. Really get them out of trouble, and not a great spot to roll to either now, Cameron, for Schwaller. Can't roll inside or it'll play into a jam, so they have to roll wide and try to not leave a double back again.
Yeah, I think Robin played that shot as good as he could, and the only positive out of that situation for Schwaller is there's zero risk of, it's either a 2 or a blank, you would imagine, so they're going to be relatively happy with just running this end through if they make this.
Yep. What?
That shot that Robin played actually in the first end, such a tough one on a fresh line. There won't be many stones down there at that weight. So.
Oh, Sven.
Yeah, those in-between tracks inside the edge of the forefoot on slam ice we see so often snap up.
Yeah, normally see the slight overcurl.
That one catches a piece of their own, but still stays on the paint. So similar type shot now for Bryden, where maybe he could make the double again and get the roll middle. Another soft weight out turn for Bryden.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Oh, he does it again. Great touch from Robin.
Yep.
Great pair of stones there. Kind of killed this end for Schwaller. Any chance of getting anything going?
My sources say Rob might have had a bit of a late night last night. Apparently that's what he needs.
Yeah, I can't
come
confirm.
out hot this morning. Can confirm.
Can't confirm nor deny.
Oh, great stuff from Rob. Yannick Schwaller playing the hack weight hit. Playing 0 or 2 now in this first end.
Whoa. Wait. No, c'est bon, c'est bon. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Go. Go. Go.
Good touch from Yannick, right on the nose.
Somewhere in there? Yep. I like that, mate.
I think it's maybe just open enough Ross can probably flop under here, though.
There's a little bit of space with soft weight to maybe get that roll underneath their own stone.
Again, though, in the first end, it could be a little fresh. They're not going to take too many chances here. We'd hate to see them wreck the center guard. I think this is one of the shots, though, in the last couple of years that the top teams have got so good at. You don't see many misses on these ones.
Yeah, you look at the top 5 to 10 teams, and it's these in-between shots where it's the difference between them and the other top teams on tour. Ross Whyte looking to execute one of those soft weight hits and try to get inside the center guard.
Clean. Well then, whoa, Carl.
Definitely a little bit of a pop on the release.
Looked like he said hello.
Hi, Carl. Carl.
It still gets to nose, though, with the carve. Not a bad spot.
Ich bin auf 8 gewesen, also die Locke gelangt. Ja, das lenkt. Wie viel ist? Ich sehe das. Ja, sehr gut.
Benoit Schwartz Van Berkel looking to get the inside roll as well. We saw the signal from Yannick, and the options would be to roll away and still play for the blank, or get underneath and force your opponent to make a run. in the first end, and they're electing to try to get underneath.
Well, it's third one down the line. Should run better, but
Still heavy. Wait.
trying to go under.
Whoa. Wait.
It's curling.
Yeah, very light here.
Whoa.
That's going to wreck the guard. See if it keeps the paint. Will be a biter in the outside. So that will force the nose hit as opposed to the free guard.
I think so. On the line slide.
But a force out of nowhere here for Team Whyte if they're able to stick around.
It all kind of started with those two doubles from Robin as well. Just, I think that's kind of set the tone for Whyte in this game. They looking pretty relaxed, playing well.
Carrying over that momentum from the big win over Team Mouat yesterday. Cameron, we talked before that game about rivalries and in-country matchups with, it's no secret, the selection process with Scotland. Mouat gets the pick after Whyte wins the championship. Hard to tell a team when they beat somebody and win a national championship that you're not going to the Worlds, but can't really blame a committee for selecting the team that's #1 in the world and wins the world championship at the same time.
It's one of those. It's always been a tricky one, but all these athletes know the criteria at the start of the year, and they know that winning the nationals isn't a guarantee for going to a world championship. So they know that head-to-head against these top teams come into play. Other major events, it's kind of a tricky one for Ross because one of the criteria, the points in the criteria is at major events like your Europeans and Worlds, but you can't get those unless you go to them. So you're kind of stuck in that catch-22. But I mean, yeah, the selection worked out for those guys. Yeah.
Does give Team Whyte maybe a little added motivation for these games, and certainly looked like it yesterday. Final stone first end. Schwartz Van Berkel playing the hit and stick for the single. No problem there for Benoit, but the force out of nowhere for Team Whyte is just a single for Schwaller. They lead 1-0 after one end of play.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock.
No, so, but the breaks come back really fast here too. Single in the first for Team Schwaller. 1-0 lead over Team Whyte. On to the second end of action. Team Schwaller continuing to, well, at least attempt to play aggressively with the center guard, and will stop just short of the rings. Always better for the commentary booth, Cameron. Guards, rocks in play.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have to be more entertaining and fill time, which we can do, but I prefer to use the game.
We've heard Nick talk about how he hates blanks as well, so I think the players are listening.
Yeah. And there was that trial at one of the previous slams with no double blanks. See the high corner guard there from Kyle. But it ended up being a little bit counterproductive, Cam, with when a team didn't have hammer after one blanked end, that was the team that played really defensively because they knew their opponent has to score in the next end. So they end up going into the rings, and then it ends up being a less exciting end anyways because of the opposite. The team that usually would be pressing the action now knows that they can play more conservatively and get the result they want.
Yeah, we've seen that in the final with Jacobs and Whyte, actually, and it was the back-to-back blank force. And I think both times it was just a draw to the 12 foot, if I'm right. So, yeah, I think the majority of the games that did actually have, like, there was an impact of more aggressive curling as a whole, but there is definitely that element where, especially when these teams are so good, they can clear an end and just accept that the team's having to draw 12 foot for long.
Yeah, and if you just look at the scoreboards in a lot of those games where you see there's 2 or 3 blanks in a game, you'd think, oh, it must have been really wide open or boring. But so many of those blanks are happening when teams make great shots to clear, and then that's not boring. That's just great execution to set those blanks up.
High-level shot making for sure.
And the players have mentioned that too in our discussions, with myself and the athlete commission and the players, that they don't think that it really needs to change. They say if you're watching these games, it's still great curling.
Yeah.
It's just that the execution on the clearing shots is so good. But that's what creates the blanks, and that's still fun curling to watch.
I think it's a great mix, and I think it's one of those things that when something's not broken, don't fix it, to an extent where these guys are making insane shots.
There's a great shot right there. Let's roll to the open, but good result for Sven.
I actually heard a couple of people talk about the no-tick zone and having where the first 4 rocks can't be ticked or touched wherever they are. Like, it kind of takes away your corner tick. So it keeps your more aggressive play even in the back end, because I've noticed now a lot of these teams, they're going double center because all these top teams are making the corner tick if they're 2 or 3 up, right?
Rolls to the open in the back of the 8 foot for McFadden.
Sounds like Ross was having a little discussion with Robin there about the ice. I don't know if they're going to get a little caught out on a few spots there.
Seeing a little more curl on this side of the sheet, on the main sheet. This one is cutting a bit. Very soft weight. So back to the 12 foot.
Try make a double corner and then beat this one.
Well, I like this call, just kind of makes it quite a safe end for Ross opening up this 4 foot if he makes this shot.
And maybe able to get a double corner, as Ross said as well, if you can roll this behind their own.
Yeah, it looks kind of like if you make the double, you make the roll.
Right. And there's the double, and there's the roll, perfectly done from McFadden. Great touch. Didn't have to overthrow it, Cam. They just played the right weight to make the roll, and that's all you need.
No, exactly. Just looked like a solid normal, and I think from halfway up they knew it was close, and it was a well executed shot from Duncan. I think over the last few years Duncan's really improved, and I think that's helped the team a lot.
It's a good safe setup now for Team Whyte. 2 corner guards and not really much choice for Team Schwaller but to cut that path off, as double peel would be very difficult. Never like drawn under the corner guard without hammer, but again, I don't think they have a lot of option.
Yeah, I don't think they want to fully bury here. It's either kind of top 8 half open or Yeah, it's never nice when you come around here, but if they get a good position in first, it's tricky for Ross to generate anything right there.
Whyte's all there right now. Let's hit the brakes above the tee line, not a bad spot.
That's tough. Why just locked on just now? I don't hate the freeze. And there's one draw away from getting a score. I don't hate the freeze. Either this or you this. Okay. That's they're pretty much full force, so we full 8.
So if Whyte get to play the corner freeze here, it's top 4.
He could play the dig, but can't see a lot of it. So straighter side as well.
Probably going to roll open to give them a chance to roll back as well.
Easy. Line's good. Hold in. Carl.
Just looking a little heavy.
Trying to get it to turn over. Not a bad result. Good angle and looks to be shot. Maybe enough space to get inside still with how high the guard is.
Yeah, the Swiss look like they're getting a little bit more curl at their soft shots as well. So.
No, I know, but just in terms of how I felt through it, how it ran, I felt like giving me more to get to the
Alpha out, chase clean.
I know, but like I felt like in terms of the
don't see it. More than both parts of the other.
Yannick Schwaller trying to get to as much of this stone as he can. Avoid the backing.
Ran a little on them there.
Yeah, not a bad result, but we've seen that pretty consistently, Cam, with the edge of 8, middle 8, somewhere in there with the tracks that it's kind of troughed. Yeah, where it's hard to bury going under corner guards and really hard to dig stones out when you're coming around with those soft weights. And I think Yannick thought he was on the right track and just didn't finish. Still not a bad result with pushing the red stone to the open.
No, where Yannick's stone actually ends up kind of takes away any chance for Ross to roll under the guard. Right. So it's one of those, it wasn't made right, but it was the right way to miss.
I have to roll away or play to nose, one way or the other.
Clean. Whoa. Yep. Just clean. Yep. Whoa. Clean. Yep. Hard. Really hard. Hard. Really hard.
Playing for the long roll. Just rolls to center line, so it'll be an open double.
Yeah, I think he was looking to roll another couple of feet there.
Crazy, I know that word too. I'm assuming they're talking about not throwing crazy weight.
Yeah, it just looks like you need a nice control here on the nose. Always find it quite funny when you don't understand the language, but curling, the similar terms always come back to play your clearing and tee line.
And perfectly done again. Great shot from Benoit. We'll leave the draw underneath the corner to try to set up 2 if Whyte elects to play it.
in to get low on this, close to not actually killing this, but that doesn't really matter.
We've got a couple options when you kind of go into it.
Yeah.
Or make this
11?
Yeah, 11.5 I think is good. Okay. Somewhere in there. I think it'll be fair.
So I think they're a little worried about leaving that stone there, so trying to accomplish two things.
But the option is that way. Okay.
Yeah, if they make the hit and roll onto the yellow here as well, even if they're dead frozen, just lying shot, Yannick has to make a decision whether he's going to draw around these corners or he's going to just blast them and give them the blank.
It will be soft weight hit and roll for Ross Whyte. Trying to set up a skip's deuce if he can.
Clean. Clean.
Bit of a setback on the center line, but should climb.
Straight.
A little bit of a misread on the sweep and just rolls a couple inches too far, that close to perfect.
Yeah, I heard Ewan call halfway up. Should we play the double? And I think the line call just kind of got caught in between the two shots. And yeah, it's ultimately Benoit sticks this one on the tee line open side. It's a force.
Benoit playing the draw. Opposite side, playing for the force.
Back tee les gars, exactement back tee. Exactement back tee.
Cam, a little surprised they didn't play towards the corner, maybe a little afraid that they'd leave the double, but could have got a piece of the forefoot maybe and close to it and
I think
got the scoring space down.
Yeah, if you hook under those corner guards, you're making them have to draw forefoot, right? But
I guess the thought being we're having trouble burying behind the corners. If we leave a piece, we could leave them a shot for two. Anything you throw to the open side, as long as it's not higher than the rock on the opposite side, you're never leaving a shot for two, but a little conservative.
Yeah. I think it's almost an element of respect to the team as well, because if you show a team like Ross half a stone around that corner guard, they're going to make that soft weight double probably 8-9 times out of 10. So
we've seen it a bunch of times already in this game.
Yeah.
A little wobble there from Ross on his final stone, just playing the open hit.
Actually, a little surprised he didn't draw here.
Yeah.
He's not got a lot of roll.
Basically
roll
needed
space.
full 8, but like the way that this hit looked. Skip's choice, and it's right on the nose. So a force for both teams in the first two ends of action. We are tied 1-1 on to the third end.
Every day you go new places. A small change in how you do things, or moving your things to a whole new town, or many things to many towns all at once. No matter how small the move, it can be a big leap from where you are now. You've got it in you to go new places. So do we. We go there every day. We're here to help you move to places on the map, in the mind, in the heart, or all three.
Go new places with AMJ Campbell. Contact us at 888-AMJ-MOVE or amjcampbell.com.
Hitting the brakes in the last. Singles for both teams in the first two ends. We move on to the third. Whyte and Schwaller tied at 1. Expect to see another center guard here from you and Kyle. Ewan could join our club, Cameron, with people that have 2 first names for their names. Yeah. Cameron Bryce and Tyler George are in the booth.
True. Yeah.
Ewan's invited. I don't think Yannick is. I don't think he can come. Schwaller would it'd be a fun first day. Corner guard just stopped short of the paint.
Sven you could do as well.
Almost definitely could. Sven, yeah, Sven can come. Coach Glenn Howard, he's invited too.
Glenn's always invited.
Whatever the occasion.
I think that's a great addition for Schwaller's team.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's always good to have somebody at that level of play and that can come out in those key situations and say we trust what they're going to tell us no matter what. And there's no questioning Glenn's curling knowledge, and I think his mentality and his style of play fits with them too.
Yeah, for sure.
When we played against Glenn back in the day, the highest compliment I could pay him was they were arrogantly aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to score on you.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to put rocks in play, and we're not afraid of what you're going to do back. And I think that plays well into the game that Yannick calls as well.
I remember the first time I played Glenn was in Stu Sells, Halifax, and the first end was just like stones everywhere. We had hammer and we're like, oh, we're looking good for 2 or 3 here, and he just sticks a straight run from like the hog line right back on there, and it's like, yeah, okay, this guy's a player.
The confidence to play that type of game because you'll make the shot to get out of trouble. The team I think I would compare most to Glenn's old squads right now, and maybe even farther than what Glenn does, is Muscadovitz.
Yep.
With just the constant barrage of drawing and attacking. We've called a bunch of their games the World Championships and the last few slams, and the big win they had over Team Whyte earlier in this tournament, it just seemed like Whyte had to be scratching their heads like, how are we losing this game?
Yeah.
We've controlled it for 5 ends, and then it flips with a tie game, and Muscadovitz takes over in the last few ends and ends up winning it. It's really fun to call their games because you're literally laughing in the booth like they're going to draw again right now, like a junior team, but one that makes every single draw so they can do it. Problem with that strategy is you see the run sticks in there is eventually you get caught.
Yeah, you get burnt a couple of times.
And that happened at Worlds, their game against China.
Yeah.
Big lead, and they gave up 2 4s in a 3-end span.
Yeah, they were 7-2 up at the break, weren't they?
Yeah, and they gave up a 4, and I think got forced or got a deuce, and then a 4 in the next end again.
Yeah.
So if you're off a little bit playing that style, it can catch up really fast.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long.
They're a young team, though. They're probably still trying to find their perfect strategy. I feel like you said, it's kind of like junior, but they're making shots, and a couple of those guys are still aged for juniors, so it's it's a young team.
I forget who they were playing, but we had one of their games. They're up 7-1 playing the 5th, and dozen rocks in play again, and they had a freeze that they could throw to a pretty big spot and force. Like, no question. You put it on a spot probably 5 feet wide, and you get your force. And he plays in-off to a pocket for an in-off double and ends up stealing 3. And I interviewed him after the game. Mark, you had to really feel confident to play that shot. You're trying to make, it's a euphemism basically for what were you doing?
Yeah.
And he said, I saw my teammate throw it earlier in the end. I really liked the look of that line, so I wanted to play it. I don't know if you're going to make it, great, but they end up winning by 10.
Yeah.
And that's, again, you're going to get those results a lot with that style of play, but the China game is the example of you got to know when to pump the brakes every once in a while.
Yeah, it's just knowing when to flip the strategy.
Right. And the level of competition makes a huge difference for that too. You're going to get away with that against a lot of teams, but it's going to catch you against the elite squads every once in a while.
Line's good.
Couple staggered guards in the front now.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Go to the line.
Whyte trying to get underneath both.
Line's good. Hard then. Line's great. Get it. Full 4.
Good spot again from Rob, top 8 foot.
Got that kind of staggered guard there. I'm not sure they can run either of them either. So.
Took a turn. Just almost like took a turn about there.
Wondering if they can play like a soft weight double peel and it goes close to that red behind the yellow corner.
Also, ich glaube, Whyte har sjablert dobbeltpilspillet. From the clearing, we go to curl. Okay. Und nachher einfach so.
Spin back in. Ja.
Aber wieso nicht auch probieren, Sticken muss? Also zum Sticken, ich glaube, du brauchst einfach einen kleinen Bounce. Du triffst innen. Weißt du, wie ich meine?
They're looking at that jam onto the red or the yellow corner.
8 Minuten Görle von sie einen Sticken muss. Ist jetzt das Intern oder Outturn? Intern. Was soll ich sagen? Innen? Gut, gut.
Even Robin's referring to Glenn Howard there. In turn or out turn.
Schwaller playing, we'll call a finesse peel. See where that second yellow ends up. It just goes by, but main priority accomplished, opening up the center.
Ja, ich glaube. Ja, aber so ist gut. Doppelpeel. Ja. Level with that. Ja, genau.
Whyte trying to place the guard above the #1 counter.
He was running a lot high just now.
Now this is the straighter side. Kyle trying to get this to finish. That's going to come all the way to the paint too. Triple may be lined up if they're trying to get to the blank.
I think so. I'm not sure if they would have been better leaving off the sweep there and just kind of covering half the stone.
Yeah, hard to say. If it stops short and there's a big enough piece, it's leaving the side you could roll under the corner guard. So tough call.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was that heavy in the hand, to be honest.
Hier musst du besser treffen. Kannst du abschlagen, sorry?
Indeed, lining up for the triple. Kind of one of those, Cam, if you make the double, you probably make the triple too.
Yeah.
Across the face, though.
What?
Interesting choice on the turn.
I think the only way, the good thing about playing across the face is you can catch this one a lot thinner. But yeah, it's a great shot.
Made perfectly by Yannick. It's one of those, when you line them up in practice, you're setting it up so it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like, I know I just have to make the double, and then the other one's going to go too. Maybe set up 2 or 3 more behind it to make sure that you make the quint.
Quintuple, yeah.
11-5.
Just line them up like Tardy and take 10 out or something.
Yeah. It's a little more than half showing to try to play the dig. Probably trying to play the long roll here too. And with the yellow corner short enough that the run would be there, but I think you still want Schwaller chasing. as opposed to them being able to play the hit and roll themselves to get underneath.
Yeah. Just try and make his blank as hard as possible right now. Show him a piece and make him have to make that decision whether he's going to run it or play the soft way. Close.
Overrolls just a little bit, but good shot. Showing on the side you want, but looks like they may just go after the deuce. I like the call here. Yeah. Get your opportunity for a cheap one, take it.
Yeah, you don't always get too many chances in a game either, so even if they make this perfect, Ross is probably not going to run it because it's a Yellowstone and they risk of jamming.
And this is something that we talk a lot about with playing at this level. Are you going to get better chances than what you have? Because sometimes the initial thought is it's open, it skips stones, we can play our blank. But, I mean, this is really what you look for when you try to set up a 2. So why would you not take the opportunity? And obviously Yannick and Benoit agree, playing under the corner.
Yeah, there wasn't even any debate on it. Benoit put the brush down and Yannick just agreed straight away. I think, to your point, if you've got the opportunity, you don't know if you're ever going to get that opportunity again against these top teams. So when you get a sniff of it, try and take your chance.
This one really gliding on Benoit.
Curl.
Didn't really curl either.
No, nowhere near on the line. And again, that's coming off of the wall side.
Run really nice here, Rob. I agree.
That's quite a long way off.
Yeah, there's a good 6 inches of space between that rock and the back of the 8-foot and the guard. Just a little miscalculation on the line. Open hit for Whyte, but again, the point being, Cam, you're not in any danger whatsoever. You didn't take a chance. You had a free look at getting to. Now you're probably getting forced, but nothing wrong with taking a point and being up 2-1 anyways.
Yeah, I think there's always a lot of talk about odd and even ends, but I think most teams will agree that just being up in general, especially in an 8-ended game, you're...
And I've never subscribed to the odd end, even end thing this early.
No, I think it's only important in the last 3 ends.
If you're not in the second half of the game, really, it shouldn't be something that crosses your mind that actually factors in to your decision. Third end, odd end, even end, if you're thinking about that, like I just don't see how it's that big of a factor with 5 more ends to play.
Exactly.
With how many blanks we have in our sport now, and the amount of steals we don't see as often, but you don't just assume that you're going to trade points the rest of the way.
Yeah. I think a lot of teams do a lot of analysis work now, and it's really easy to get caught up in it a lot of the time, but like you're saying, at the start of the game, you don't need to.
Right. Last rock for Benoit Schwartz Van Berkel. This one a little on the wide side, too. Does curl enough. Good to have Pablo on the brush for that one. Sticks around for the single. 3 forces start off this feature matchup. 2-1, Schwaller leads Whyte after 3.
Let me say what's best for me, to feel at ease, to feel happy. Lovely weather with the breeze, the simplest things. Sad love.
Rio Mare. Great taste needs little. Prime quality tuna and selected olive oil. Rio Mare, the real taste of Italy.
Single once again for Schwaller in the third end. 2-1 the score. They lead Whyte onto the fourth end. And we've seen some really nice finesse shots made in this game. A lot of doubles not always thrown very hard. And neither team really able to get anything going offensively to this point.
Relax. Natuurlijk goed. Floten weg, niet mee, die andere.
I'm not sure this was the call.
I don't think they were playing it to in, but that's where it's going to be swept to.
I think either way we're going to see Ross throw a corner, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't change too many.
Indeed, they are going to the corner guard.
Carl.
Huh? Got a feeling we're going to see some stones in play this end.
Should. We expect to see the center guard follow this up for Schwaller as well.
Speed tight. Vrije arm.
Hands fine, they're just at the body motion.
Die is oké, vrije tijd in me nog. Aanvangsplaus logo. Ja, vrije arm. Look nog niet lang. Aanvangsplaus logo. Ho. Ja, Pablo.
Good second one from Pablo. Breeze being played now. You and Kyle. Schwaller sitting at 3-1 for the event. A win would put them into the playoffs and still maybe in the hunt for that #1 seed in their group, with Bruce Mowat also 3-1.
Carl, then it's really heavy.
Whyte at 2-2. Very important game for them to try to get that third win, get them into the playoffs. 5 teams at 2-2 and better in their group, Cam, so Dropkin the only team eliminated at this point.
Just kind of shows how close that group is. A lot of teams beating each other.
Oder was ist die Idee? Gut. 11.
Almost to a 15 there, Ewan, probably would have been very good. That was 14-3. I don't know if we can really go back.
14-3, that's fast. Bouncing off.
It's around the top end range that we've seen this week. Trying to get this to turn to get the roll under center. Just ends up close to edge, maybe a piece buried.
Can you go 10? Any last that don't know for a killing?
This is kind of similar to the triple in the last end. If you make the double, you're probably rolling behind the corner guard.
9-7. 9.5. 9.5. Yeah, well, yeah. Well.
Makes the double, rolls to half buried under the corner and on the right side too.
Good line call, Doug. Yeah.
Really good shot there from Duncan.
Dat is wat jullie hebben gezegd. Elfhalf. Wie? Wie, sorry. Wie? 11. Wow. 11. Wow. Fast 10,5. Close. 10,5. Go. Wie? Wow. Wie? Wow. Very good.
Nice touch from Sven. It's a little tight to the guard. Sticks the piece underneath that Haas looks content to still play 0 or 2 here, Cam.
Yeah.
Hitting that rock. You don't need to hit it, but...
No. Yes, it's in a good spot for the Swiss guys there. If you're wrapping around the corner guard, it's a short run, but maybe thinking here if he noses and gets another nose, it's almost out the rings as well.
Really hard. Really hard.
Just hairs it and pushes the yellow under the corner as well.
I think the sweepers were just a little worried it was light out of hand there.
Schwaller with a good opportunity now to get underneath the center guard and play for steal or the force once again. And once again, neither team really able to get anything going with hammer.
I think when they ever, even at the start, the first 2 ends, they both kind of had a chance and then a miss came. This one's played right, though. They might change the strategy a little bit for Ross, knowing that he's forced anyway, trying to get it to a bit harder.
Peu large, ouais. Et ici, c'est OK. Un fort ligne. Ligne, je suis pas le gauche. Come staggered.
Needs to carry. Line's good, but ends up just being short of the paint.
Yeah, just neither team taking their chances right now.
And that staggers the guards a bit too, so see if Whyte can make that one underneath.
Just for wait. Line's good. Good to go.
Good to go. Carl, when you can. Carl, now. Go ahead, Carl. All work to the union. All right. Go. Go.
That one will bury underneath center. Really good shot. Robin Bryden. Boy, Rob's been sharp, Cam. We might have figured out the equation for him.
Yeah.
Without going into too many details. There were those guys that you play against that maybe you're on the way to the hotel room and you see them still sitting at the local watering hole. And then they come out and just beat the tar out of you the next day.
Yeah, they're the guys that you don't want to play first thing in the morning.
Yeah, you got to be careful who you get in the trap with.
There's quite a few people in the watering hole last night that are on the ice right now, though.
Yeah, that's kind of the Players' Championship atmosphere. We don't want to make it sound like this is a regular thing on tour, but being the final event of the season, it is a very social tournament. And it's great to see that, too, with the game getting more professionalized. The social aspect is kind of filtered out a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of the teams hanging out last night, sharing stories, kind of felt like a more of an old-time curling atmosphere, which was great.
A few of these teams have just came off a long week at the Worlds as well, so they
got to let a little steam off.
Exactly.
And the schedule doesn't hurt too much for it either. You know, you have 1 2-game day and the rest a single game.
Exactly. 12, quite fine. Touch less.
So Whyte maybe with an opportunity to put up our first crooked number of the matchup. I think Rob's going to try to roll underneath the center again with soft weight hit and roll. Same thing again with these inside-out hits. The track just doesn't seem to turn much at all, but really well navigated there by Bryden.
Just enough to kill the stone as well.
Just what you want. Not really as concerned about rolling dead underneath. Doesn't change the shot selection at all. But if this is dead stuck and doesn't clear the back one, red will still be count.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if he's going for the run double here or just playing the straight back, and I think you almost have to take the double on.
Yeah, I think the ideal result would be losing both.
Yeah.
Benoit loves these types of shots.
Throws them so hard with little effort as well.
There they go. Oh, geez, looked like that was going to catch the second one. I think Benoit thought he had it as well.
Even when it connected, I thought.
Yeah, I thought when it hit the first one, it was made.
Yeah.
Oh, very good setup for two for Whyte. Bring three into play with a really good shot. The dig is definitely there on the number one counter, but no gimme. We talked about the local watering holes and everything, Cam. I think everybody in the general Toronto area needs to know that Christopher Sva, Bompy, to those who know him well, will be entering the fray today.
He is?
Yeah, arriving today. Texted me last night, which is terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great he's here, but it's terrifying.
Yeah. It's good to know ahead of time. Prepare yourself for the situation.
I never knew that, so yeah, that
now you
changes
know.
plans for tonight.
Yeah. Whatever you thought your plans were, they've taken a turn.
There goes the quiet option.
Don't quite get the roll there, ends up on the nose. That's one of the scariest texts you can get. See you tomorrow from Chris.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Has he been out here since the Duluth charity event?
I'm not sure where he was in between. He told me, and I can't remember. The World Traveler.
Yeah, when you've got an Instagram handle of Travel with Bompy or whatever, something like that. Yeah.
So even though that ended up on the nose, Cam, that's a really good spot. There's really no chance they take on the thin double.
No.
And there may not be a slash either because of where that corner guard is. So you're almost forced into either playing the dig on the back one, trying to get buried, or rolling off the top one and trying to get shot. And I think that's your best option. They're really talking a lot about this.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it curl enough from outside in to play that kind of soft weight flop under. This is a really tough shot as well. It kind of brings the stuff into play. He overcurls slightly here.
Yeah, you have to play soft enough to roll deep to get shot.
Yeah.
And as you said, if you ever overcurl a touch, could get into trouble with three coming into play. But don't think you have much option. Really have to play this.
No, and you're one up right now as well, so losing two is not terrible.
See if Benoit can get the roll. Big spot. Oh, great stuff from Benoit. Overrolls just a touch. That's going to make the two difficult.
That's as good as he could do, I think.
Yeah, to get shot rock, it's probably where you had to roll to. It was buried, it'd be very close for who was shot.
Half stone, you're over the top of it.
Nelly Robin said there, I think it's just half stone at soft weight here, punch out the 8 foot and stick about. But it's not an easy shot, that's for sure.
Last stone here in the first half of this matchup. Can Ross Whyte make the dig? Miss the backing. Over curls.
Just jumped on them, I think.
Ends up jamming. Ross a little surprised by that snap. The steal comes out of nowhere after that great shot by Benoit Schwartz van Berkel. Schwaller now leads 3-1 at the break.
Let me say what's best for me, to feel at ease, to feel happy. Lovely weather with the breeze, the simplest things. Sad love.
Rio Mare. Great taste needs little. Prime quality tuna and selected olive oil. Rio Mare, the real taste of Italy.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Steal comes out of nowhere for Team Schwaller in the fourth end. Big point, they lead 3-1 now over Team Whyte in our feature matchup over on Sheet D. We are at the AMJ Players Championship from the Mattamy Athletic Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I am Tyler George, joined by Cameron Bryce. Cam, really looked like a deuce set up there for Team Whyte, but this game now flipped on its head. That 2-point lead coming out of the break doesn't seem like that big a gap, but only 4 ends to play, and they've had to bleed points out in this game.
Yeah, that definitely felt like a big momentum swing there. Ross having a shot for 2 there to be up at the break, and all of a sudden he's 2 down. They're normally pretty good at generating stuff, but they're going to have to put some more stones in play the second half of the game, I think, and take a little chance to get back into this.
And that shows you what happens when you make your opponent make something, too. A really tough shot from Benoit Schwartz Van Berkel on his last, even to make them play a more difficult shot for 2. Rolled it to probably the best spot he possibly could. And you never know. Make him make something, and it ends up being a 3-point swing. Pablo Lachak-Couchepin playing the intern come-around draw after the center guard. Yannick giving the sweepers a break. Ends up being a double center.
Let go with the other one. Let go with the other one. Line high, Ben. On your brush. On your brush. Opposite.
Two corners up for Whyte. It's a bit of a risk, leaving the staggered centers as well for Schwaller, but I think Whyte feels like we can make that short run, lose both, but probably need to keep the shooter around too. So Sven Mikkel is indeed playing the come-around draw.
Vervoet, linie goed. Deze, ja, 10. Linie war goed. 10. Linie is perfect.
Going to the back of the forefoot. Whyte will follow.
Yeah, I think with the 2 guards just being so tight together, they can take this chance and come in just now. They don't need to play the double peel as yet. Things curled on them as well. A couple unforced errors coming out of Team Whyte just now. Surprising.
And momentum definitely on the side of Team Schwaller right now. Good opportunity to get a second one underneath those staggered centers. Yeah, maybe playing something clearing.
Sorry? Wenn es schlecht läuft, aber es ist, der Engel ist nicht so, dass...
I think it looks like a good chance to just play softly off that red tight one.
Oh ja, ich kann nur mal denken. Schöne Weg, die Golden Hüfte. Dann ist die mal weg. Wenn wir es ein bisschen dicken. So, das wäre schon noch. Aber ich bin beim Rollen sehr dabei. Das blockt ihn auch noch im Moment, Golden. So, gut. Und es sehr Instinkt ist.
Never actually know with this team which language they're speaking. Because yeah. Benoit's obviously Swiss French, so you sometimes hear we for the line calls, but then when Sven and Yannick are speaking to each other, they're speaking Swiss German.
Whatever it is, all the time, I can't speak it or understand it. They can pick whichever one they want. English, if they talk to Coach Howard.
There's a couple of Swiss teams that actually speak in English to each other because of the language difference, which is it's quite, from a British person, it's quite weird to think of.
Nice touch. Hit and roll underneath center.
Like that.
Yannick say triples there. Maybe trying to plant the seed. Go ahead and play it.
Yeah. Good luck.
Double pin.
I'm sure we'll find out in a couple of minutes whether these yellows are helping Schwaller or if they're
Probably going to be moved at some point. Whyte playing the draw for now.
Hard. Weight's getting good. Hard. Top 4. Hard. Line straight.
It's all on the weight on this line. Good shot there from Fajan. Right to the lid. But maybe a good force opportunity now for Schwaller. They can make this freeze.
Yeah, Duncan made that draw look easier than it is. It's not a big port to come through there.
And a little staggered the wrong way. Very well done. Schwaller following on the intern side.
Ligne, moi, je passe du doigt, Pablo. Attends. Attention, oui, oui. Ouais, tu dois. Oui, oui. Nous, Lenny. Oh. Oui. Oh. Ah, c'est bon. Rasch, Kerle. Rasch, coupen.
Yeah, really well done from Yannick. Great placement, scoring space cut down considerably now.
Okay, you see triple staggering it all.
I think if Ross is going to move these centre guards now, it has to be the time. That's the other option.
Freeze on the out turn.
Play this end out and hope that they get an angle run for something.
This doesn't look so nice. Like that's coming here.
Really looking hard at these angles. They're not sure if it catches that top yellow biting the button or not.
Yeah, and I guess they're worried if they slip by and touch the red, it's just going to leave that red in behind the top yellow and doesn't improve the situation.
I know that.
They could play kind of soft, like a hack waiter, kind of tick off the centre and hope that it takes the play away from the centre for now so that they can improve the angles later on. But
Probably the draws, don't really see much else.
We took one there just now. I've always got us to 2 right now.
Okay.
Think so?
Yeah.
At least get one in there and then we can start running out.
Yeah. Try to just get over the...
love the confidence Ross has there, saying he's still got side of the pin for 2 right now,
Yeah.
as if it's just a gimme, you know?
Yeah, just gaping margin there, no problem.
Third one down here.
Heard them talking about third rock down this path, thinking maybe that'll make it a little keener, a little quicker.
Yeah, possibly a little straighter as well. There's a couple of sweeps down there.
That freeze from Schwaller, such a big shot. Now it's going to take 2 shots for Whyte to improve the position if they're going to try to set up something on this side.
Lost this.
Alright, balance if we can, Ewan. Just on it.
I think Robin maybe talked himself into it being a little faster there.
Yeah, that ended up just being tight guard with the sweep. Looking very much like a force right now, unless they do elect to play something in.
Waller's almost in that sort of position where you don't know where to go that improves the situation either. Could put one in there and leave him a bigger angle for a run.
Maar alles hier is goed, hoor. Zo, daar vriezen hier, zo zeer goed. Je gaat timeout nemen? Even Glenn vragen, ja. Timeout.
We'll take their first timeout and
bring out the mastermind.
Coach Glenn Howard will come out and chat about this with his team. Take a listen in.
De winkel is net zo geliefd rechter of dat, Glenn? Ja, je weet het. Als er een mandje... Oké. Ding is... Nee, als je dat kan, dürfen wir nicht machen. Ja. No. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Like guard, we cannot, because if he ever stops that, we're even if we end up freezing here, it's fine. I agree. Go. Add more?
Looks like they have elected to come in again.
No, it's Pat Vegan.
Yeah, I think I heard Glenn talking about just erring on the little short side here. You don't want to come side by side on your yellow. Give them an angle to play anything with a run. I actually thought they might have played the corner guard, just kind of choked off the draw in there and takes the ankle run away.
Très bien. Pin, button. Contrôlez la vitesse, la ligne est parfaite. Achtung. Curl, curl, curl. Nana curl. Linie gut. 4-2, 4-2.
Just barely getting by the corner guard. It's going to settle in the back of the forefoot.
Stay hot, sorry.
It's not a good miss there from Schwaller.
Okay.
Rock not really helping at all. Actually serving as a catcher again for Red.
We're back to this triple center now, wondering if the angles work out.
I want to see it. Yes, I want to know.
Like it should just go to there, I think. Yeah. Two rocks. Huh? Yeah, try and plant this. Hack.
Try and throw like a hack weight and try and almost just leave the 5 like back 4 foot. This was...
Ja. Oh, also awkward ist peinlich. That, or try and stick this at like half. Yeah, but my show, but try and stick right there.
Make it. Oh wait, like 11
right now. We're still in the even if this lines up, at least this one's going to stay.
11. Or is that too much?
They're talking about this soft weight angle run back. It's quite early.
Make sure it's so I'm not throwing any less. If you kill this, that's absolutely fine.
I like good 11. Okay.
Makes it 5 half.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're playing this now. I guess maybe they're thinking they won't get another chance, and there isn't a great spot to throw the draw to.
Finish at the end, probably.
It's one of those as well. Now, if you don't make this, you're probably just accepting you're getting one.
Yeah.
Because all the angles are gone on the right side.
Here, last shot.
Robin had been near flawless up until that draw came up short. Needs a big one now for his team. Soft weight out-turn run. We've seen these track a little bit on the side of the sheet. Run straight. That's what we're seeing right now, too. Sorry to be right on that one, Rob. That's just the way we've seen those rocks run on those finesse shots on that side of the sheet.
At least the double run now looks like it just takes the yellow out.
Yeah, it's lined up pretty well.
Also, ja, macht vermutlich alles gut, oder? Will double run spelen?
I almost think that red rock's dangerous, the run is dangerous. You could play the soft hit, try to stagger it, roll a little bit. Looks like they're going to play the guard and allow the double run to be played.
Ça va assez vite, je pense, là. Juste deux, Sven. Bedankt erg, wij. Not too veel. Gar nicht so schlecht, Linie. Linie ist auch gut, ja. Linie ist gut.
The guard is made. A little bit tight.
It's okay.
Still could play the yellow-red back, can play the yellow-yellow back. Couple different options for Whyte.
I think the yellow is a little less risky.
Looks like it's lined up really well.
Maybe even take a couple of... definitely the one behind the red frozen and might start spinning over towards the one on the left.
Now the question is, if you make that yellow-yellow in, what's your opponent playing? What are you playing on your last two?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You can't make it to lie two.
Yeah, you're not changing who shot. You're not giving yourself a better shot. Which almost makes you think the yellow-red in might be better because then you're setting up a two. It's still tough to get two playing this shot if it's made.
Yeah, you're almost relying on the miss, right?
Yeah.
After this, or a half shot.
It's opening up the scoring space, but you still need to have a shot, and your opponent's going to have something in between.
Whoa, girl. Yep. Yes. Oh, straight. Yes. Hard.
Do make the run, sitting shot rock, but how much did that really improve their situation? Don't see a lot in for yellow either right now.
No.
But the guards are kind of staggered. So they're trying to figure out where is their shot for two right now.
I think I would say just looking at the left-hand run double, which is ridiculously hard, is probably the only option for two or more right now, but not a lot of angles down the center now.
Die Rechtdraw ist richtig schwer. Ich glaube, er spielt vorher das. Können wir ausstellen? Ja. Ich würde das tun, oder? Welchen willst du tun, Sven? Für zwei ist das schon einfacher, oder? Ich glaube, es ist schon einfacher für zwei, Janik. Wir können auch selber hier freezen.
Hi, Sid. I know you're watching. Yeah, you know that voice. Trust me, we get really tired of our own voices. You do enough of this. Sid and Delaney watching at home. Back in the U.S.
Definitely getting a lot more interest in the US.
Yeah, it's a great
Since
thing.
you guys came home with the gold,
It didn't hurt. COVID slowed things down considerably, unfortunately, but
yeah, it was bad timing.
seeing that bump again. Definitely popularity on the rise. A little bit of a pop on the release there from Benoit, setting it back to the line, but shouldn't have a problem walking this down from the guard.
Yeah, just don't line it up. That's all you.
Is a freeze.
Has to go a little more to take that away. I think that's just enough. Damn, the only way in probably that red. Could also play the red guard slash in and roll.
Yeah, to get that to come.
Actually, might be able to make that for 3 if you throw a bomb.
Yep.
Slash the red into the wing yellow.
Like 11, you're glancing at
But I think they're eyeballing the red.
At double tap.
The center guard, yeah, essentially a tap with board weight probably.
Yeah, they won't want to throw it any harder than that. The risk of taking out the red, obviously.
Does that yellow red just kind of spin off that into the bomb?
I'd love to see him play the bomb, slash in for 3.
Yeah, throw it from the hip.
I would agree. $11.5. We're trying to glance this in here, right? You have to be 11.5. You have to be fully in. You're there. It's tough.
I think you need to go through that red top 8 to make the draw. Especially like you were saying on that side, with it being a little straighter.
Touch in. Almost 2 thirds.
Good job, but nice in here. Nothing crazy, but see a few. 11.5?
11.5. Even 11.5, I think lost it.
Gotcha, touched enough. Halb ist sicher schief. Halb ist so schief, glaube ich.
Long conversation about line and weight. I think they know this is kind of a game breaker type of shot.
Du solltest wieder rum ein bisschen. Let the backing mit dem eigenen Rouge.
Oh, clean. Oh, clean. Yep. Oh, oh. Yep. Oh, oh. Oh, oh.
Very close. Will it sit? Oh, what a shot for 2. Ross Whyte with a little magic to knot this game up. We are all tied 3-3 after 5 ends of play.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And it's the choice of champions.
We could call it game saver.
It definitely could be that. We're all tied up at 3. On to the 6th end. Team Schwaller with hammer.
A lot of these teams make those shots look so easy, but they're one of the hardest shots to play with. It brings every single person in the team into making that shot.
So precise with the weight and the line there from Ross Whyte. And Cam, the most difficult thing about that type of shot is exactly what type of weight do you need. Thinking about how much weight's going to come off it when you hit the first stone and then goes into the second one. It's always more weight than you think. So you have to make sure you're there to have a chance. And
especially when you have to come across it and catch the second one a little bit thinner, you lose so much momentum on that. It's easy to underthrow those and overthrow, really.
It's hard to make, we'll say.
Yeah, for sure.
But a great shot, and whole new ball game now. Still advantage Team Schwaller, essentially a 3-end game where they're most likely have hammer twice, but totally different game with tie score as opposed to down by 1 without hammer. Double centers up for Whyte. Going all out to get the steal or the force. Good draw from Pablo Lachak-Couchepin right to the top of the 8-foot.
You're in your edge. Weight's good. Close. Line's great. Weight's good. Close. Weight's good. Back 4.
I think we see Ross and the team go pretty hard here to steal.
Yeah, it's not going to be an all-out push, but this shot selection tells you they're definitely trying to push the action to the center. Good spot in the back of the 4-foot.
Yeah, I think at worst they'll be looking to force and then try and control that 7th end where they can try and take a 2 or a blank, get some control.
They do have the option to hit that back stone too. You could dig that out and sit 2, but really want to keep the center open apparently. And Sven Mikkel playing double peel. Whiskers that second red into the top of the 12-foot. Does open up the middle. But also chokes off that draw path too to the corner, which will definitely come into play with trying to set up a 2 with hammer.
Tight. On the logo. Okay, line's good. On the logo. Weight's good. Line's good. On the logo. Just top the logo. Line's good. Line's great.
Guard replaced there by Fadgen. Another clearing shot coming up by Sven Mikkel. The Banana Peel boys in the stands right now probably will have something to say about this one. Oh, look at that. Loses their own. Goes underneath the corner guard. So I think they wanted to cheer for the Peel, but couldn't. You've watched the slams earlier in the season. Some gentlemen dressed up in banana outfits cheering for every Peel shot. They also may have made an appearance at the local watering hole last night.
In their banana outfits.
In their outfits. Rumor is.
I was actually hearing last night that they've got more outfits as well.
Don't doubt that at all. People that...
I didn't ask any questions.
No, people that dress up and stuff like that, it's not usually the only thing they have in their wardrobe to that effect.
I would think so. Really
That's bad. I don't love the guard.
Cam, what do you like here? They're hesitant to throw the guard because the number one counter is in the back of the forefoot. You don't want to give them a setup for 2.
I think just trying to get another one in play away from those stones right now. Force is fine just now. You don't want to go too hard for a steal and let Benoit sneak one in around the guard and give up a cheap 2 after working so hard for their 2 the last time.
Like if anyone's talking about them playing this, if they ever miss this triple,
yeah. I'm just thinking, like, why do we go with that? Yeah. If he's playing that triple, the more he's slightly should have gone.
For line 3, it's not a great position for him. I can see why there's a lot of discussion about where they want to go, because there is a triple there, and anything over at the left-hand side, the rings just kind of groups it all together again.
My first thought was the guard, boys. Okay. Tempt them into.
After 2 of them saying they don't like the guard, they're playing the guard.
I think it came down to, well, we don't really like it, but I don't really see anything better.
Yeah.
They did signal for a second your shot that we talked about to the open 8-foot side.
I think they were just worried about that triple being made, though, and rolling across to. Still early in the end. Robin's first.
Yeah, I think that factors in too. If this was Skip's stones, then they may throw that rock in the house instead.
Yeah.
Try not to give the Skips deuce. Now at least, if they do come around and make a good draw, you still have a couple rocks left to clean things up if you choose to.
Line's good.
And the force should always be on with this setup.
Yeah.
Curl. Gotta move it. Really gotta curl, boys. Someone has to curl it.
Not sure that's the side they wanted to leave, but would be a fairly short run with the 2 reds if they do roll underneath.
It's a long enough guard as well. The Swiss boys can't really play the draw because there's always going to be a chase there.
Ding ist, wenn die nicht gut machen oder das Fußrollen ist, dann ist sie völlige Unkontrolle. Ich probiere alles weg, aber das ist.
Still wanting this triple.
So, das ist für mich ein Triple verliert. Ja, ist schwierig, weißt du? Aber ist egal. Ich glaube auch. Ja. Und dann kann ich hoffen. Also ich glaube, nicht so klar. Gut. Mit dem Intern, oder? Ja, wenn wir das machen, wenn wir das machen. Ja, in meinem Score, ja. Ich bin 7,5, 8 so. 80. Ja, ist gut. Ja, ist gut.
Do you like this call?
Not sure. It's really hard to set up a 2 right now without moving those red stones. I think that's what they're planning is we got 4 rocks left. There's no way we can use the corner right now. We can't roll behind those right now. So if you're trying to score 2, you're doing it in the 4-foot, and you're playing underneath the center guard. So I don't mind this. I think it's really important that the shooter rolls to full paint so that they have to contend with it.
Yeah, or take the risk by going around the center, which brings the 2 into play.
This is over curling by long ways. That will roll off.
Top on.
As a skip, I don't really like these situations when you're aligned too good almost, where you don't want to place a stone here to give them an opportunity to use it. I think he's worried about always having an in off.
Guard there and go hard for steal. Don't love that. I think you're either the split or you try and draw top button. Sorry? I think you're either the split or you try to draw top button. Yeah. My problem with top button is they just play this wee bump and then we're just that guard.
Like try and split then.
split is probably the best result, but if you miss it, it's
Yeah.
bringing that corner into play again, right?
You're accomplishing the most with the split as long as you roll the shooter. Top 12, now you're probably forcing your opponent into playing the draw, which I don't know if that's good or bad. I like playing something under the center here.
Yeah, you've got a good chance to put pressure on them.
Carl! Carl! Carl!
Just hit the brakes. Not a bad spot.
Yeah.
Is the soft weight hit and roll on that stone too, but the good thing for Whyte in this situation is you're forcing your opponent to play to number 3 counter. And your shot rock is still going to be back there after the shot. So later you can get into this end, the better opportunity you have to eventually just suck one around and sit 2 underneath. They just don't want to do it early and leave them an opportunity to set up a pocket or something like that.
I think Benoit's probably one of the best drawers in the game as well, so trying to give him just one chance at it rather than a couple.
Wenn die ganz knapp vorbeikommen, trifft sie schon 12 für das 10. Haben wir das? Ja. Also jetzt, okay. Kannst du nicht? Ja, also es muss kommen, mir drin schon. Ja. Ich glaube, es ist 4 Sekunden, ist sehr gut. Also ich 11 halber. So wie du, weißt noch? Ja, aber du musst, ja. Hier sind wir schon, glaube ich. 11 halb. Ja.
I think Nick's had a word with all the teams this morning. There's only one blank in the whole 4 sheets.
Right.
We can be fully buried and second is fine as well.
Soft weight hit attempt here. Trying to roll underneath. Oh, great touch. Shot rock.
Just put the brakes on in time as well. It's a great roll.
Very reminiscent of the shot he made in the the fourth end.
Set up the steal.
Set up the steal. Rolls to almost identical spot. Can't see much of this red, but they can see enough to play the tap up to that yellow and try to move it far enough to sit 3.
Back line just through.
This will set up some good angles for Team Whyte if it's made as well. They'll have both sides of that guard protected with stones above the tee line. Really like this shot call.
And I think even if you don't lie shot, but bump it to leave a pocket, it gives them so many options.
Yep. Oh. 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 Close. Yep. Oh. 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 Go. Go.
How far will it move the yellow?
Very good.
Far enough to sit shots, close for second.
Nein, ist gut. Also es muss perfekt sein, Janik. Seht ihr einen anderen Call? Also hier, ja genau.
Don't see a lot else besides this in-turn draw, Campbell.
It's not a nice one to throw either. You never hook an inch past there. Ross almost has to play that same red-red, and it could stuff on there and leave him something for two.
You could play off of your own too, but yeah, as it's the only one in there, I kind of like to avoid that.
Nej, alltså jag måste det. Ser ut. Sich komplett zu. Whyte, also neben dem Button. Vierter drin. La ligne est perfect. Très bien en tout cas. Faut être fier, faut être les gars. Fier, faut être. Ligne est perfect. Oui. Ligne oui. Ligne oui. Oh. Oui. 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 Oh.
Just papers by the rock in the top of the 4 foot. What a draw by Benoit. That's so good. You have to play the in-turn tap, right?
I would say it's their best chance of a steal. They're looking at the double, but then Benoit's probably just going to play the same shot again for his one, which they're going to be happy with.
Yeah, you could lose both.
I feel like they've played most of the end looking for a steal, though. Might still get the steal, but
If I slither the yellow, the top, the middle ones first, it might
I think
be
if you
okay.
make that tap, you're almost guaranteed.
Yeah, that's the steal shot. You're putting a lot of pressure on your opponent making the double too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gimme fast for det. Wie viel ist das?
I wonder if maybe from earlier on in the game they were struggling on that wall side, just getting some curl there, misjudged a couple, so they feel this is an easier shot.
Oh! Help! Okay! Help! 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 Help!
Oh, really well done. Moves it far enough to sit 4. Close on the overhead for 4th count. Definitely 3, so pressure on Benoit. Make this same shot just made for the single now. A lot of weight there from Ross to move that second stone. Perfectly made. So go back to that board weight double tap for 2 in the 5th that really turned this game around, and now pressure on Schwartz Van Berkel. This in-turn draw to the side of the 4 foot. Last rock, 6th end.
Plus large. Forward and skate. Forward and skate. Ligne très bien. Amène la vitesse.
Sweepers have been going the entire way on this one.
Tu peux curler. Ligne droite, ligne droite. Tu peux curler.
Oh, Benoit perfect once again. So good. What a draw. Huge point for his squad. Great shot making both ways in this feature matchup. Schwaller takes a 4-3 lead onto the 7th end.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, And the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsocktickets.com. Let's rock.
Pressure draw from Benoit Schwartz Van Berkel with the hammer in the 6th end. Secures the single point. Schwaller leads Whyte 4-3. Whyte with hammer now in the 7th. Center guard up for Schwaller, and Whyte going to the corner as well. A lot of times in this situation, Cameron, you'll see the team with hammer go under center, take that position away, try to play 0 or 2. But Whyte stating their intentions with this call. They're going to press for the deuce if they can get it.
Yeah, they probably feel like they have a little bit of momentum in the last couple of ends and probably just trying to build on that. And like you said, a lot of these teams would just go around just now, but they're probably trying to bring the play away from the center as well. Hopefully get a half shot here or there from Schwaller, and I think they maybe want to be one up playing the last end.
Shot Kushpan right around to the top of the 4-foot. Nice draw from him.
Weight's good. Line's good. Top it. Yep. Weight's good. Hard line. Gotta go get by it.
Kyle's come around draw. Stops full 8-foot, mostly buried.
Corner freeze.
Wasn't sure if we're going to see a long guard there for a minute.
Wouldn't have been a big surprise. I mean, that's a good steel rock.
Yeah.
Okay, I may agree with you there that get a good high guard up. I don't know that Whyte has much choice but to play the peel.
Yeah, exactly.
Make them waste a few stones, get later into this end. This is going to be short anyways, looks like. It's not a terrible spot, but you can get all these yellows moving now. They're bunched up.
I quite like seeing the long guard there and just have to make Ross kind of waste some stones, just trying to keep it open. Even that red stone with the little gap in between the yellow is so hard to use right now.
Right to it. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Makes the double, but leaves the shooter. Again, wouldn't mind seeing the high guard now.
I think you almost have, like, you're leaving a red to run in. It's kind of a tricky one, isn't it? Ross could just easily lie two behind the center guard after this.
And this is the easiest way to let your opponent keep playing 0 or 2. Smashing the red in. I'm pretty happy if I'm Whyte with this shot call. Coach Howard looks like he's got a bit of a sour expression too. I think he may agree. I think that's a pretty easy call just to play that run in now, as long as you keep the shooter too.
Yeah, you could either plant it or go a little high side roll corner and try and punch the guard in behind the corner guard.
Think so, mate. So the highs okay. Maybe even get into this.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. And then shooter goes off a little bit. The center's open too.
Yeah.
If you plan it, you're guarded, but I don't think you want to be.
No. Yeah, it's good for now, but it's not a 2. It's not going to generate a 2 that way, probably.
Does plan it, so not a bad result, but still just questioning the decision by Schwaller to not get that high guard up. I'm not sure what choice you have, again, but to peel in that situation.
He's almost forced to either play the run back himself now or draw around back 4.
Yeah, probably close to nose, I think.
Ik kan me meester de tannen. Klap. Ja. Dat goed. Zoveel? Nee. Ik had de rambing dus niet. Full him before. Ganze step.
I think they've opted for the draw.
Okay.
Again, Ross is probably going to have a soft weight run. Kind of lined up.
Is the in-turn draw for Yannick Schwaller.
In de 4. In het T. In bien. In bien. Ligne toujours bien. In het T. Pablo, attends. Oui. Oh. Ligne parfaite. Pablo, oui. Non, c'est bon. 4-2.
Should hit the brakes in the slide path. Will it stop for shot? This goes a little too far, so Whyte still shot.
I'm sure Yannick wouldn't mind if he goes and freezes that one back 4. Starts closing up that scoring area.
We have to go all the way back. We're here. It's this.
If you could ever walk it down with tap weight, I don't think you mind moving that stone. As you said, they start freezing and stacking there. It brings the force and the steel into play. I'm a little trapped right now for Whyte, even though it looks like they have the advantage.
Yeah.
It's not a great spot to throw this stone.
You definitely don't want to be forced here.
Force is your worst case scenario.
Carl, touch. Carl, touch. Carl. Fine.
It's right to the lid. Really good draw.
It's probably as good as they could have made that.
They can freeze or they can run. Either way.
I don't know about you, but I think I'm calling the run back.
I think so.
It looks pretty lined up right now.
The angles are very good for it. Probably sitting 2 after you make it with a guard.
I'm not sure the freeze actually gives you a great opportunity.
There's not a lot of room to throw it to.
Yeah.
He barely got by that rock in the top of the 8-foot.
And they were carving it in there as well.
They are playing the freeze, so they're really going all out for the force.
No brushes on it. It's probably the slowest line in the sheet.
I think the run accomplishes the same thing as long as you're keeping 2 in.
Well, I was just wondering if he makes a freeze here, does Ross ever play the run and it just stuffs into the back yellow?
It's probably gunned up to the back one there with the drag.
It's wide 2 or 3.
Ligne bien. Ligne parfaite. Juste la vitesse, les gars. Ligne très bien, Pablo, toujours devant. Si c'est max, la ligne est un peu max aussi. Ok, ligne parfaite pour moitié. Wir sind genau halb drauf. 4-8.
Line's really good here. Really well done. We'll see if they do indeed play that run now.
Super durch. Das Ding ist aber jetzt gut, dann ist Rot, wenn er rammt. Dann geht schon auf den Gelb, aber
Yeah, now you're in a situation where if you're coming in, you have to unlock those.
Maybe does. Can't guarantee it didn't touch this one.
If that ever got by that yellow, could be trouble. I think it catches it. Yeah.
Yeah, Yannick's is kind of probably the perfect spot where it's not curled anymore, so that it's a guarantee. Just whips it out there and has to make him play again. But
and now they do need to unlock this.
Good shot from Robin here, brings a 3 into play though.
Big touch shot here for Bryden.
Good to go then. Yep. Gets it. Line's okay. Whoa. Clean. Whoa. Clean. Whoa. Curl. Curl. Curl.
It's locked on. Didn't move it very much. Red's still shot.
Ja, so war ich Fräse schon mal gut. Wir müssen auf die Nase hier. Weißt, wenn das killt, also wenn das killt, kann ich dann der Run, kann ich das gut. Je nach Engel, ja. Wenn es fast am wichtigsten ist der Freeze, oder? Genau. Oder? Warum ist okay, man? Ouais, ça va vite. Ça va vite.
They're looking pretty good right now for Schwaller. Get the force or the steal.
I
see the end time.
Linie gut. Wo ist Linie? Ja, ich schiebe noch durch. Linie war gut.
That winger off the paint is looming a little bit too, Cameron. Yeah, the yellow stone. I think we may see that used. We get a piece underneath the guard. That's close.
Needed another couple inches of curl.
Yeah.
I think if he hits what he sees of that yellow, it should kick and pick the yellow. With him being so close, it should redirect a little.
Timeout being called by Whyte. Already lining up that winger over there. Yeah, if you ever make that, you're sitting a pile. I think you gotta play it. Could be a game winner right now.
Pretty flat, but even if you go into the pocket of the red and yellow, pretty good.
Yeah, you don't have to move it very far. If it gets out of the 4 foot, you're sitting 4.
Yeah. It's one of those, if you miss it, it's definitely a force. But I think, based on the situation right now, it's a game winner if you make it.
Just where does the top red go? The only reason I like the top one is just because it leaves this guard and that. And it's
I like it as well. I just don't know if it's guaranteed to hit it.
There's me. That's fine.
Probably either this or it's that. That's going to have to be 7/8 slow the rotation. Ja, het is niet hier. Aber der Run kann auch theoretisch drüber gehen. ton of rotation in turn. This is going to run 7-8.
Playing what we believe could be the game winner right now, Cam. I like the call because, boy, you got him in jail if you make it.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Schwaller plays if you make this.
Right. Smash and hope.
Yeah, try and get rid of a couple. I think I heard him say he's wanting to throw a little bit extra rotation here as well, just to get a flatter
good
roll.
kick, yeah.
Does look about 2/3, 3/4, pretty flat.
Whyte will be playing a bomb here. A little wobble out, but there's the rotation he talked about.
Close.
Pretty close to the where they needed to hit. A little bit thinner, but
actually a little bit unlucky that it's rolled to a spot that Yannick can make this hit and roll in there.
Ja, weer das wieder, Yannick. Das ist nicht so schwierig. Warte aber noch. Wenn einer da drauf schießt, das macht das. Das heißt, wir dürfen am Schluss mit hier liegen. Ja, ja, wir müssen... Eigentlich müssten wir idealerweise das bewegen. Das ein bisschen bewegen. Ja. 10,5. 10,5. 10,5 sieht gut aus. Siehst du den Curl da, Yannick? Es ist
they are indeed playing that hit and roll. When you get to a piece of the button, you always have that other red for a stopper as well. If you just touch that, you're going to be sitting 2. I think red's 1 right now. Yeah.
Always close.
Benoit's made some big ones in this game. Trying to come up with another one now. We've seen these straighten out going towards the outside. Oh, look at that. Great stuff from Benoit again, sitting 2. Big shot shooter, Cam. Love to have those throwing the brick.
It's one of the best. Just under pressure. Don't often see him miss a shot when it's a must make.
The world silver medalist comes up with a huge shot for his team.
I'm actually just surprised he's not won one of these slams.
Yeah.
Because they're always there or thereabouts.
Yeah, ranked number 3 in the world, always in the hunt.
Probably playing the best curling they've played this year. Like, they've had a really good year, but that performance last week at the Worlds was impressive.
I just wondered if, Ross, I wonder if you just run this. It's close, but if you give up one.
I think this is close to touching both, but I'm not sure if the red would spin away.
Yeah, kind of has to pocket the 2 of them.
Yeah.
It's really close. I think it might only catch the one on the left from the overhead.
Yeah.
If anything.
I think Robin said even if they lose one there, it's not too. It keeps them in the game.
Yep. Hi. 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 Hi.
Does just that.
He called it.
So there is the steal for Schwaller after the fantastic hit and roll. Benoit Schwartz Van Berkel. They take a 5-3 lead on to the 8th end.
The rock faces around Lake Tahoe are legendary. But this fall, new ones will emerge in the Tahoe Basin. Pullman, Mowat, Gushu, and more. November 4th through 9th, the Grand Slam of Curling's first ever event in the U.S. is coming to Lake Tahoe, where the greatest rock stars on earth unite for 6 days of incredible curling, celebrity appearances, and off-break curl parties you won't want to miss. Get your tickets at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock.
Back for the 8th end of action in our feature matchup on Sheet D. Yannick Schwaller with a 5-3 lead over Ross Whyte. Tyler George here with Cameron Bryce. Cam, nothing different than what we expect. Benoit Schwartz Van Berkel with really the two biggest shots in the game, drawing the side of the button for the single in 6, and then a third of a rock, quarter of a rock, soft weight double to set up the steal in 7.
Yeah. Got a little bit, Ross missed that in off, and they got a little sniff of a chance there, and Benoit does what he normally does and just takes his opportunities, giving them a good 2-point lead going into the 8th end.
So it'll be all-out attack now from Whyte, needing at least a 2 to keep this game going. We're seeing the chip being played here, tick into the rings by Lachak-Couchepin.
This is where I think it'd be good that if no stones were moved, you could still play the corner guards.
Saw him make one of these to the dead zone at the Worlds.
It's close.
This one's going to hang on to the paint, but yeah, good job. Good shot from Pablo. Shooter goes off, and now forcing your opponent to guard that stone. Great shot from Pablo.
Halfway. Halfway. Halfway tight. Straight down.
You don't see many missed ticks nowadays, do you?
Halfway.
No, you don't see many played.
No,
but
true.
They still make them a lot, which when you're not playing them very often is impressive. This one's going to overcurl a touch, and the dig is definitely there. So this is already mission accomplished for Team Schwaller. Big shot here for Sven Mikkel, and we've again seen these run a little bit on the inside-out shots around the edge of the 8-foot.
Yeah, I think worst case is Schwaller will be happy, not happy, but content with losing the 2 and going into an extra with hammer. That's a big miss.
That same thing again, where they're on-off, they think it's close, and then straightens out. But we've seen it all week long. I think they thought that was made even at the hog line, and still just straightens out on that trough.
See, Ross is down to under 2 minutes on his time as well.
A little low on the clock. Both timeouts already used for Team Whyte as well, so they're going to have to play with some pace here in this last end.
It's not ideal when you want to try and get some angles going to get a 3 either.
Doing hold. Oh, done.
Trying to play the long double off the corner to the rock in the rings, but a little too thin.
Short. End's okay. Mine's good. It's good. Justin.
Trying to stack a second one underneath that corner guard. And again, you see it just kind of straighten out there. It's not finishing. But a pretty good spot considering it's the same thing for the dig.
I think you got to take the run on. Can't afford to chip this one again and leave 2 behind the guard.
They want to play the dig, but they know from what they saw with Sven's that could easily skate by with a well-thrown rock.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't get by that guard by a ton, and it's only just buried with the draw there.
So they are taking on the run.
Whoa. Go. Whoa, straight. Whoa.
Just whiskers the top one, but does get the back. Now, normally you would say if you're going to show any, you want it to be on the outside, but with this track, probably a good thing that you can see the outside.
Yeah. I actually thought we'd see Ross come round the guard here again and just hope they miss. Almost like guaranteeing his 2 with this one, right?
Yeah, I don't think that should be their concern, obviously, though, with the 2-point deficit in 8th.
Yeah, you really want to try and open up a 3.
A little surprised by this call, and I'm with you. I think assumed they'd go under again.
Especially after Pablo making the tick. You're relying on a miss somewhere. They got it with Sven, and then they've just kind of accepted line 2 right now.
Okay. Yeah. De nose.
Ja, gerne. 11 aan 12, Janik.
12
is goed. 12 is sehr gut.
Get to as much of this as they can. Love to really carve this once it gets by the guard and try to roll to the open. Set up a double for later in the end.
I think even if they just get rid of this one and Ross goes round the guard, Benoit with his next one knows it's the open one, and Ross has got to probably hedge his bets and go round the corner guard again and hope Benoit doesn't split the rings and give him no shot. It's not a great position to be in.
Roll it a little bit to under the corner.
They're probably in the right spot for this straighter line, though. Like if he's having to play a bump here.
Yeah, if you have to move it, it's going to be really tough to get to the line that you need to move it back.
I think they called back 8. You see Sven's one that was just probably just an easy hack, and it ran really straight.
Well, they got to the line that they needed to. That's not bad.
I think that's almost better than making the bump. It's got a nice angle there too.
Yeah, I would have preferred to be shot if they can, but that's a really good spot. Trying to roll this a little bit to the middle.
Good enough for now.
3 is looking very unlikely with this setup now. 2 is not particularly easy still.
I like getting this out of here. I like that.
If this rolls middle, Schwaller may have an opportunity to just hit the rock that rolls, sit 2, and maybe not leave a double if it's in the right spot. I think they're trying to maybe get just a piece underneath the yellow counter. Really difficult roll.
It's one of those tricky ones to get the right weight as well, because you're catching it so thin. You need to move the red that they're going to be running onto. Well, just run straight again. Shot.
That's really good.
Think he couldn't have placed that much better.
Yeah, that's a fantastic shot. Now it's trying to draw to even up.
Or just run it straight back.
I like the draw here. If you get it to even,
you
probably win the game. I don't see anything for 2, even if it's steady.
Yeah, even as long as you're just past that red on the left-hand side would be perfect.
Yeah, that rock not stopping for shot rock makes a big difference now.
I can play draw. Yeah, it has to be perfect.
You do not have to be in here. We can go.
It has to be 8 foot. 4 foot, yes, always double.
Yeah.
For me, it's fine.
Benoit wants to throw the draw. He's made that clear.
I cannot kill this one anyway, or can I?
No. You can, but it's tough. It's very tough.
Yeah, they've not even looked at playing the straight back on the yellow either. Just
just played it.
although this is a really precise shot, it's definitely an easier one and one that
I like the draw, you know.
there's not really an option that can go wrong. Like both options can go wrong.
Yeah, I think Ben knows if I make the draw, we win.
Yeah.
So let's just play the draw.
Save 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. And he's feeling very confident with his draw weight too, and he said multiple times during that timeout, "This is good for me. I like this."
He's happy with it.
Let him throw it. If your Skip wants to make a draw to win the game, then absolutely let him go right ahead.
Don't even make him second guess.
Don't say another word. Yeah. Schwartz Van Berkel's last. Just looking for a foot above the tee line.
Sweeper's on it early.
Push.
Seen some rocks grind a little bit, not finish, so they try to make sure it's there.
Go.
Done enough? Looks like it.
Yeah, I think it's there.
Yeah.
Should miss the red, I think, too. It's very close, but I think it goes by, so it is there for the win. Sweepers just got off a little bit, and Ken, we've seen that all week long, that the off-on, and as soon as the brooms come up late in the shot, the rock just kind of grinds.
Especially in the 8th end, coming across the slide path there as well. It's always going to be the slowest part.
Double is there for the win for 3 for Ross Whyte. Probably needing this to stay alive. Playoff contention. Final rock. Cross house. Double for the win.
Whoa! Yes! Hard! Gotta go!
It's too thick, but will it push it for second? No. Not without the foot wedge. So that will be a victory for Team Schwaller. Tell which one was going to be shot rock. So either 6-3 or 5-4.
I think it was going to be a 1.
We'll make it 5-4 the final. Schwaller with the victory. That is what they put on the scoreboard. That will wrap up our coverage for this 11:30 draw. We'll be back at 3:30 with 2 games of commentary for feature matchups. For Tyler George, Cameron Bryce, Grand Slam of Curling, and the Home Team Network crew, we will see you again 3:30 Eastern. Thanks for watching.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsocktickets.com. Let's rock.
Yeah.
Bye.